I bought a gas station, but there's a lot going on here that has absolutely nothing to do with fueling up cars.
Excuse me.
Oi! To complete 100%, I'll need to max out the fuel operation, the convenience store, the garage repairs, the car wash, the party scene for weirdos, as I spend hundreds of thousands of dollars maxing out the glory of this fine establishment on my way to getting all 90 Steam achievements. Welcome to 100% of Gas Station Simulator. In Australia, we'd call it a petrol station, or a service station, or a servo. A servo, mate. Gas station. Gas station, somewhere on Route 66. I was on the move down Route 66, at the beginning of an absolutely absurd journey.
Look at that spider tattoo, dude. Look at that smoking dog.
The Dust Bowl gas station was coming up on my right, and a dodgy for sale sign caught my eye.
For sale, I'll buy it. I will purchase. Why are there so many planes? Congratulations. Just like that, you are now the owner of Dust Bowl gas station. 12 hours later. 12 hours later, I awoke in a rather messy room, and I immediately used my superhuman strength to heave this wardrobe like it was nothing. What's my job? Figure out how to enter the gas station.
There were some rubbish bags at the door, which I attempted to throw into the dumpster.
Too far?
My second shot was too short, but it bumped the outside of the dumpster, and apparently that counted for a high score.
High score? I got an achievement already. Hit a trash can.
I tried a longer throw to see if I could up that score.
What the heck? It dematerialized. This place is a bit of a dump. Excavator reset. I got an achievement for resetting the excavator. This might be the quickest 100% ever. I'm popping off.
I then got obsessed with throwing stuff in the bin, which was probably a good thing because there was a heck of a lot of trash lying around to get rid of.
Dude, what is going on in this place, man? Why is this windmill moving like that? I think I'm getting very distracted. I should focus on the mission. Huh? I found a card. I found another card. What are these cards? How far into the desert can I wander? Go back. Oh, sorry.
I kept finding cards. What the heck are these cards?
Now I just feel like I need to find every card. I'm drilling for oil. Do I refine the oil here so that I can sell it? Can I grow crops here? There's a workshop I'm going to be able to repair. Excuse me, sir. How did I do that? I'm a strong boy. Oh, yeah, unflipped. How'd you do that? I really should get to work. Is that a rattlesnake? Is that a rattlesnake?
After all that nonsense, it was finally time to remove these planks and gain access to the gas station.
I'm in. It's classic simulate. Oh, hello. Follow the high voltage cable and find a way to turn the electricity. This is gonna be a classic situation. You're always gonna clean up the shop first.
I did some more cleaning up, and then I was confused as to what it meant by high voltage cable.
That looks like it's got issues. If I jump at it,
somehow, jumping at it did not work, so I followed the power lines and found what I was after.
the generator. The heat shimmer here is crazy, dude.
With power restored, my next task was to pick up the phone in the phone booth.
I'll pick up the phone at the booth. I thought I had to pick up the whole phone booth.
Congratulations on your purchase and investment, little nephew.
Apparently the land I'd purchased once belonged to my uncle's father, so my grandfather. Somehow that meant we were now business partners.
Good luck.
Alright, thanks, uncle. You're a lovely man. Does this computer have a tower somewhere, or is it just a magical cathode ray screen?
The computer had a rather extensive menu.
Tools, features, decorations, deliveries.
And there was an email menu, where Uncle was going to send me tips that I barely ever read. I read this first one though, which even further revealed how lovely my uncle was.
Refurbish the fuel dispenser first. And don't worry about the money for this part, we're family after all.
A loan from my generous, kind-hearted uncle. How good. I jumped in the excavator, because there was a pile of sand I needed to remove.
Holy moly, I found Rudy. Rudy the excavator.
Rudy ran out of fuel after about 3 meters of rolling.
Dang it, man.
I ran and grabbed a jerry can from over here, filled it up at the refurbished fuel dispenser, and fueled up Rudy.
Let's go, Rudy.
There were some pretty serious sand piles in the car park, and I almost got air driving over one. But it was this sand pile over here that I needed to get rid of.
Where am I dumping the sand? Over here?
I dumped the sand in the sand disposal pile that stayed exactly the same size even after I'd added more sand to it. And while I had Rudy fired up, I figured I might as well scoop up this sand pile over here too.
Go, Rudy. I believe in you.
After disposing of that sand, I headed over to tinker with the fuel price sign.
Traffic is affected by time of the day, popularity, fuel price, decorations, landmarks, and events.
Obviously, I wanted lots of traffic, bringing lots of customers, so I'd have to manage this carefully. But for now, I simply set the fuel price at $2.49 per litre, or per gallon. I don't know, how do they measure liquid in the US? Per inch? Apparently, this fuel price provided +3 traffic, so it must have been a pretty good deal.
We're open, baby.
I had officially opened the store, and it was time to order a fuel delivery at the computer.
I got $450 from somewhere.
At this point, I could only store a max of 200 litres, so I ordered as much as I could at $2 per litre. I then realised I had my first customer, and I tried to fill their car. Except the fuel obviously hadn't arrived yet, so this was unsuccessful.
I don't have any fuel.
Whoa. Wait.
What do you mean, whoa, 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 wait. Oh, I gotta wait for my fuel. Come back. No. The fuel's coming. Stop. Stop. Fuel's right there, dude. Stop. Test your skills on the arcade while you wait.
So I utterly disappointed my first ever customer. A great start. And now the game wanted me to play the arcade, a remote control car race. It costs $5 to play, but if you complete the track in under 1 minute and 15 seconds, you earn $20.
I'm popping off. Crap. Come on, baby. Come on. I think crashing into whatever I crashed into, it may have ruined my run. Picking up speed now, though. Oh, we're getting air here? Oh, too much air. Too much air. Dude, what? Oh no, if there are achievements tied to this thing, I'm so screwed.
There is indeed a rather difficult time challenge achievement for this race. More on the deadly struggle to get that one later.
I believe I've got a customer waiting for me. Did I do it? Yeah! I completed a race. I don't think I completed it very fast, but I still got an achievement.
I completed that race in 1 minute 45. And for the achievement I mentioned, you've got to do it in 1 minute and 2 seconds. The fuel delivery was here, so I opened the valve to allow the fuel to pump in, causing the hose to wiggle outrageously.
Thank you, sir. What the heck? What the heck? Elvis? What the heck? Santa? Elvis? What are you doing? Are you finished, sir? You are. Thank you for your delivery. Did you deliver the fuel in a hearse? It was Elvis's dead body in here? Is that why his ghost started flying around? Let's serve a customer.
The fueling up minigame is simple. If you fill up close to the requested amount, you get a tip from the customer. To speed up the flow of fuel, you can hold shift.
Oh, I'm supposed to click? Dang it, dude. Okay, well, I served someone. I got an achievement. I'm popping off. You, calm down.
I failed to land a tip there because I'm a goose. And now the game was telling me to buy a trash bag from the computer. I bought it for free.
Free trash bag. Yes. Let's start by collecting small items. The achievements are flowing. So many dopamine hits. I feel inclined to clean everything up, even though it only wanted me to clean 20.
I scooped up any smaller trash that I saw. I emptied the overfull bins. I even managed to fit these planks in the garbage bag, which seemed unbelievable. But I am a talented garbologist.
I'll serve you, bro. Chill. You ready?
This time I hit shift to speed things up, and I clicked right when it was on the green bit.
Nice. I got a tip because it was perfect. Holy dooly. I just got 3 achievements. Get a tip, fuel a car within 0.1 litre of the requested fuel, fuel a car within 0.2 litres. Hurry up and order, Popo. You're wasting my time, man. I got business to do.
I threw a few juicy bin bags into the dumpster to keep the cleanup operation on track. I then filled up the police car, securing another tip. A $4.85 tip for $53.36 total. So the tips were 10% on the fuel value ordered. I'd bought that fuel for $2 a litre, and I was selling for $2.49. So I was making 49 cents profit per litre, and the tips were pure profit on top of that. It was definitely going to be important to secure as many tips as possible. Meanwhile, I was starting to get in the flow a little, cleaning up the mess and mastering the fuel service. Although never in my lifetime have I encountered a fuel station that has people to fill your car up for you, so it felt like I was doing a rather quaint job.
Whoa, super.
Whoa, super. While picking up yet more filth, I earned the achievement for picking up 50 trash items, and the dumpster out back was beginning to fill.
Whoa! That went flying.
Customers trickled in fairly regularly, so I tried to serve them in a timely fashion. And my next purchase was a free broom, as it was time to take the cleaning operation to a new level.
What are these radioactive footprints, dude? What is going on?
As I cleaned the floor up, the cleanliness meter in the top left there slid up towards the green. And in no time, I had the achievement for cleaning up 25 floor stains.
Look at this, I've got 13 already.
I next ordered trash collection, which was a free service to have the dumpsters emptied.
Who's laughing?
Dennis the Menace was the one laughing.
Stop him by throwing items at him to scare him off. Get out of here, Dennis. Get out of here. What the heck is that?
Dennis shows up periodically and brazenly attempts to spray graffiti on the walls of the gas station. He cannot be stopped unless you throw multiple objects at him, which I did with great joy to earn yet another achievement. My next purchase was a free paint roller, which I used to cover up Dennis's graffiti. I chose this dark green color. The entire station was in need of a fresh coat of paint, and the beautiful green tones warmed my heart, so I got caught up painting. But as I did, things got busy at the fuel pump, so I quickly served a customer. I then painted over the 2 remaining graffiti art pieces to progress the quest line. After that, I was taught how to steal. I grabbed the lockpick kit off the back of this wreck, and then got busy trying to pick my way into the rusty boot, or trunk. This lockpicking minigame seems to be pretty much universal by this point. You've just got to keep wiggling until you find it turns a little bit more and more, but make sure not to overdo it or you risk breaking your pick. Once you've found the sweet spot, you can get it to turn 90 degrees and it'll open the lock.
Broke into a car trunk, bought and found a decoration. Achievement thief? I mean, I own this property and it was on my property. I'm not a thief. Oh yeah, Dust Bowl painting. Get that bad boy on the wall, man. Look at that. That's gorgeous.
I'd yoinked that Dust Bowl painting from the car I'd just quote-unquote stolen from, and that was my first ever decoration.
I was worried we'd be stranded.
I was worried we'd be stranded. I got $839. Am I rich?
I now moved on to throwing some of the big stuff in the bin. I couldn't bag these, so I had to chuck them in one by one.
It says my store is perfectly clean, but there's all this crap lying around. That doesn't make any sense.
The game wasn't telling me to clean this stuff up, so I could have progressed while still mired in filth, but I wasn't keen on that. This grandfather clock was not rubbish though, and when I accidentally picked it up, it wouldn't let me put it back down where it had just been, so I had to move it. I soon earned the achievement for fueling up 10 cars, and now that the store was relatively clean, it was time to purchase some shelves.
A big soft drink stand and a big food stand.
These were immediately available to place, but I wasn't sure where to put them. After a quick diversion to fuel up a convertible, I managed to put both shelves against this wall.
Kinda doesn't actually fit there, but we'll pretend that's not the case.
By this point, the repetition of minigame after minigame caused me to rush and be a bit sloppy, so I wasn't 100% on the tips. I was next told to unlock my first parking lot, and I'd already removed the sand from it earlier, so it was good to go. It cost me nothing, and now 3 car spots were available for customers.
Super. Fuel status is low.
I was down to about 20 liters of fuel on hand, so I ordered some more fuel. Because the purchase price changes every day at midnight, the price was now $1.80, so this next batch of fuel was going to be even more profitable.
I got people parking. Hello, uncle.
Hello. Sorry, nephew, but there is just no room for charity in this world. I hope you'll find it within your finances to repay the debt. Otherwise, we'll
What
be
kind of
forced
debt?
to see to more.
Wait, what? It says in the top right.
methods of reimbursement.
$5,000?
Don't have me wait too long now.
$5,000?
Remember when I was praising my uncle's generosity? Well, it turns out he's a dirty dog.
I'm not gonna be able to pay him $5,000. This is ridiculous. What did you put on my shelves? Some beverages? Some snackies?
My manipulative uncle had at least stocked my shelves, so I was ready for a new revenue stream, selling them gas station goodies. I attended the cash register, and it was time for another mini game. For this one, I had to hold shift to get the conveyor belt moving, and I had to grab each product, scan it, and chuck it in the basket. Somehow the conveyor belt got dusty extremely quickly, so I had to whip out a sponge to give it a little scrubby scrub every so often.
This guy's buying so many snacks, dude.
Once I'd scanned all 10 products, the transaction was complete and $18.59 in revenue was earned, along with another achievement for serving my first customer. When serving my next customer, I think my goose brain overloaded or something, because I decided I wanted to try scan them all without ever stopping the conveyor belt. But apparently I wasn't experienced enough for that yet, and as a result I made a mess of things because I could not keep up. I learned that once an item has fallen in the basket, it's impossible to get it out and then scan it, so it was a disaster.
Trying to scam me.
I actually allowed 2 products to fall into her basket without scanning them, meaning I didn't make her pay for them, meaning she got free snacks. So I'd call that well and truly not a scam. So why did she get angry at me? For the next customer, I took my time, and upon scanning everything correctly, I secured a massive 82-cent tip.
I gotta serve the fuel dudes as well. Is this hard work?
It was early days and I was already feeling kind of busy, serving 2 lines of customers and managing deliveries.
You guys are stuck behind the fuel guy? Okay, the fuel is refilling, that's good. Oh, this is where I gotta pay off my $5,000 loan. That's not gonna happen, dude. Just let him unload his fuel, bro. Chill.
I had about 2 minutes left on the timer to pay the $5,000, and I only had about $350, so I was not gonna be able to pay Unc back.
Nice.
After serving a few more customers, my uncle sent one of his handsome goons to collect.
Hey, punk,
Uh-oh.
where's our goddamn money?
Rude. My own uncle sends a bald guy? My own uncle sends an angry bald guy. Can you believe that?
I then enjoyed a cinematic cutscene of my uncle arriving, and I learned that my name is Sam.
Wake up, Sam. You've got a gas station to run.
Should have sent a bald guy to bash me if you want me to run the flaming station, dude.
So my uncle sent a goon, then he showed up himself just to wake me up, and now he was calling me to teach me about taking loans from him. All of that somehow seems inefficient.
As a token of apology, please accept this small gift. It will help with your next delivery. No strings attached.
And now he's apologizing. This guy moves too fast with his love bombing, manipulative behavior. Also, I do not trust that no strings attached claim. Also, why on earth would I take another loan out with him, considering his propensity to unleash angry bald guys? To accept his next delivery, I was gonna have to reopen the warehouse, so I needed to get back to work. It had been a bit of a whirlwind of chaos as I've been learning the ropes, but now the grind was about to kick in as I scrambled to serve all these customers. As for my next task, I needed to put up 5 decorations in order to increase traffic. I bought a few things using the PC. I slapped a wagon wheel on the wall, some antlers above the door, and a massive pot plant in the corner. I next had to buy a landmark.
Honeybee yellow derelict car. It's gonna be there. It's gonna be a landmark. Because clearly that's what everyone wants to see. Alright, I'll buy another one. A red car, broken. Go on, give me all of those. Give me a palm grove, I don't mind. Give me a front yard palm, I don't mind. Another front yard palm. I spent 350 bucks on that, and now my traffic's gonna be through the roof, because what a glorious... Okay, get to work.
I bought 7 landmarks instead of 1. I'm not sure how that happened. My next task was to upgrade the gas station to level 2, so I was free to go about my business until I had the money to afford that. I of course prioritized serving customers to ensure long lines didn't form, partly because that's just good customer service, but also because I could only have a queue of 2 cars for fuel, and I only had space for 3 in-store customers. I had to serve them promptly so they'd leave and make room for another customer. Basically, being quick was definitely ideal for money making, but once I'd gotten rid of any lines, I was free to do whatever, such as admire the wrecked car landmark I just bought, or cleaning up. But then I realized my level 2 gas station upgrade was free.
I get the warehouse, the workshop, new shelves, additional parking spots, customer toilet, new event, more decorations. It costs $0. Alright, don't even worry about it. Oh, it's bigger. Oh, okay, it's bigger.
It was quite a bit bigger, and there was a bunch of extra rubbish to dispense with. I didn't really want bonus trash with my upgrade, but fair enough. There was also a key on the wall, which I grabbed.
Oh, look at this. There's a covering now. It's all happening.
Between the steady flow of customers and all the other tasks grabbing my attention, I was beginning to feel quite busy. But the main thing on my mind was profit margin.
Should I increase the fuel price?
I was now getting +2 traffic from both decorations and landmarks, so the +3 from my cheap fuel price felt less necessary. I was quite gentle with my price hike though, going up just 20 cents, which reduced my traffic bonus from the fuel price down to +2. You can see in the top left, my traffic status was still high, so there was still going to be plenty of people coming through.
What the heck is this? Why is there a fish here? Goodness sake, man, this is getting out of hand.
The rubbish pile was also getting out of hand, so I called in another garbage collection, and I used that key I'd gotten with the level 2 upgrade to open the warehouse. I opened the garage door by yanking on this big lever, and a warning popped up that I should make sure to keep the warehouse gates closed, otherwise robbers will steal from me. And then it was time to clean up all the random bales of hay.
Why is there a drum set in here, dude? What is going on?
The hay bales kept me occupied for a while, the garbo rocked up, and of course, don't forget to serve the customers. Once all the hay was cleared out, I was able to restore the warehouse using the PC.
Restore. $100. Go on then. Restore the warehouse. There's a bear playing drums. More products. Alcohol, cigarettes, ice cream.
I was now able to order quite a few products, but I only had beverage and snack shelves so far, so I stuck with those categories, ordering 1 of each. The items labeled with the green dot have a relatively cheap cost price, and the red dots are overpriced, so I really should have stuck with the green dot items to improve my profit margin, but I wasn't really paying attention to that yet. Also, I only had room for 200 items in the warehouse, so I had to slightly reduce the size of my order.
Okay, I ordered more products.
And now it was time to reposition my shelves.
Yeah, there's nothing on the shelf. Sorry about that. I need to clear all this crap out, dude.
I was almost immediately interrupted in my efforts to clear the crap out, because I saw a delivery truck on its way in.
Yeah, that's a delivery truck with my snacks and drinks. Serve these fuel customers. I need money. He's furious there's no beverages. It's alright, there's some in the truck right there. I need to open this. How do I get in there? Come on. In you come. Sorry. Crap.
As you can tell, I was a little bit frantic trying to manage the chaos.
How'd you go? Are you delivering? What are you doing? Oh, I have to get it out?
The delivery driver clearly doesn't get paid enough to bother unloading the goods, so that was up to me. I quickly shoved all the stock on the warehouse shelves.
Fuel status is low? Oh, for goodness sake.
Thankfully, I remembered to run back and shut the garage door to keep out any thieves. And at first, I thought I'd have to grab the stock off the warehouse shelves in order to bring it into the shop.
I don't have to manually pick them up from there, I guess? Okay, goodness, thank goodness for that.
It was pretty quick to restock the store shelves. So just like that, we were back in the business of snacks and bevies. And when I served this customer, I earned the Fueling Superstar achievement.
Fuel a car within 0.01 of the requested fuel? That's pretty precise.
I had another phone call from my criminal uncle, and this time he taught me about popularity. Earning popularity is pretty simple. You've just got to get positive feedback by keeping the station clean and serving people exactly what they want.
Thank you. I got a nice from him. That's positive feedback, right?
That was indeed. And just that one nice got me 7% of the way to popularity level 2. As I nailed the checkout service, it zoomed up to 20%.
Just as I wanted.
Just as I wanted. Buy a toilet. Okay, I need a toilet now.
I tried to stay on top of the trash buildup, and when I filled up this guy's car, I completely ran out of fuel. How did that happen?
Okay, give me as much as I can get. I can get 200 liters. I don't have enough money to order 200. Okay, I ordered 100 because I can't afford 200. Toilet for 150. Can't afford it yet.
I was now officially into territory where the aim of the game was making a profit, so that I could buy upgrades and unlocks for the station.
Plug it in, bro. Quick, I got customers. Thank you. There we go.
I was gonna have to stay on top of my fuel levels and shelf stock levels too, but I believed.
This is genuinely hard work. I know, chill. Is Dennis back? I hear him. Hey, you! What do I throw at him? Get out of here, Dennis. You idiot. Wait, where'd he go?
I was too slow, and Dennis managed to write "you suck" on my wall. I bought my first toilet, and at first I thought this was just going to be more cleaning work with no real benefit. But when a customer uses a clean toilet, they give a nice thumbs up, increasing popularity. So the toilet does have its uses, beyond mere poopage.
A fair amount of popularity every time I succeed. Like that guy gave me 7% popularity.
The popularity grind was very quick at this point. It got way slower later, but I was mainly just amazed at how many snacks some of these people bought. I painted over the Dennis graffiti, and after a couple more customers, I reached a milestone.
Oh, popularity level 2. A smattering of claps.
Now that I'd reached popularity level 2, I was able to buy the workshop refurbishment, but I felt like I was almost spending money faster than I earned it.
How much does the workshop cost me? 400. All right, I gotta save up a bit. 400 for the workshop.
In reality, I was making a respectable profit margin on all sales, but it definitely was not going to be a get-rich-quick situation. With any free time I had between customers flooding the station, I began chipping away at laying down another coat of paint, but I couldn't get much done before I was pulled away accepting orders or serving a fresh batch of customers.
Tip of the iceberg. Get a total of 50 tips during minigames. Nice. Why does it say tip of the iceberg though? Implying I'm gonna have to get 6 million more tips before any meaningful progress is made?
Maybe not 6 million, but yes, a mere 50 tips was definitely just the tip of the iceberg.
That'll do.
That'll do, that'll do, that'll do.
The grind was on, so this next passenger play was kind of like a rinse and repeat cycle of gas station jobs. I did knock over the paint 25 objects achievement. I was getting better at the mini games, so I was at the point where I could just keep the conveyor belt moving the whole time while serving shop customers. I was insanely accurate with my grab and swipe technique, although I must admit I still paused occasionally to avoid catastrophe. And I soon ordered fuel again, but this time I was getting ahead in stock, so soon some real profit margin would be available for me to invest.
Well, at least I'm not stuffing up the scanning minigame anymore. Wallpaper. Oh, I got wallpapers?
I never used a single wallpaper, and at this point I was done with a lovely white walled interior, so I turned my attention to the outside wall once again, laying down the glorious green. As I painted, I watched this bloke wander into the toilet like he owned the place, and like he was about to unleash a most epic poo. Honestly, it's the kind of thing you dream of seeing when you open up a gas station.
Whoa, super.
Whoa, super.
Your eyes are very much, they're a lot. They're very much a lot. Get this upright banana out of here, dude.
I decided to paint the posts this orange color, a nice bright point of contrast to the darker green.
Oh, good order, good order.
I was a big fan of customers who asked for a larger refuel, because big orders meant the profit came through that much quicker. Popularity was only going up by 3 or 4% per customer now, and yet by the time I reached 89% of the way to level 3 popularity, I'd only just cleared $400 in the bank, and the workshop unlock was on the cards.
Popularity level 3, baby.
Each level of popularity increased the glory of my Dust Bowl sign a little, but I must admit it was not very glorious just yet. And I was reluctant to sink that $400 cash into an upgrade, because I knew I'd need to restock my fuel again soon, and the shelves inside were looking kinda bare too. But perhaps more than anything, I was preoccupied painting the walls.
Quite an interesting color scheme I have going on. Order as much as I can, and then after that, when I've got 400, I'll do the quest.
So I was back down to $300, but I was now well and truly ahead in the fuel department, so things were looking up.
Okay, I think I successfully painted it. Definitely looks a bit fresher. So much crap to throw out still. I'm actually getting close to running out of products here as well. For goodness sake. Serve 50 customers in the shop. I'm gonna run out of products. I feel like I'm just making money real slow.
At least I was diligent in my cleaning efforts. Although how clean can this Dust Bowl really ever get? And my concern about the bare shelves proved too strong. I put in a delivery order, and I also couldn't resist expanding my offerings as I bought a cigarette stand.
Gonna be adding some tobacco to the menu.
I slapped the new shelf on the wall, the delivery truck soon arrived, and with that some Super Blend was for sale. Surely it would fly off the shelf, considering the nature of my clientele. Clearly they were all nicotine addicts. The bevies and chippies received a modest restock too. And then it was back to work, because now I needed to rebuild my savings. This was well and truly the run around like a headless chicken phase of the playthrough, because I had multiple tasks to tend to, and no one to help me.
Cleaning up a little bit. 2 full dumpsters.
It was nice to see some tobacco sell. It's always good to see the business expand into healthy new lines of revenue. And I was glad this garbage fella was free to summon, because he'd been around a few times by this point. And I imagine as a viewer, it's hard to guess how many customers I'd served by this point. But this achievement popping up will give you a clear number.
Skills to pay the bills. Fueled 50 cars. Achievements are just flowing, bro.
I'd also gotten the achievement to throw out 100 trash. But yes, the achievements were indeed flowing.
I mean, what else do I do at this point?
If I wasn't so goosey in my money management, being ultra conservative, insisting on reinvesting all my money into restocks, buying the workshop is what I would do. But as it was, I'd kept myself stagnant in terms of progress. And I know I mentioned I'd been working flat stick, but now I had a weirdly slow period as the night of day 6 arrived. So I did a good long stretch of yet more cleaning. But soon enough, the customers showed up again, and my cash on hand hit 400 again.
I've only only got 88 liters of fuel. I'm gonna run out again soon. But anyway, let's get this workshop done.
Progress at last, and my ultimate hope for this workshop was that it would bring in some respectable profit. The workshop is right next to the gas station, and it was primed and ready for a garage customer to show up. Soon enough, a lady rolled on in. I quickly cleared the queue at the shop and headed in to figure out how the workshop operates. I slapped the green button to lift up the car, and I was hit with a 3, 2, 1 repair countdown.
What are we doing? Hello? What are we doing?
I didn't know at this point, but I wasn't actually able to do any repairs under the hood of the cars yet.
Oh, need scratch remover to start fixing car scratch. Okay.
I found some scratch remover stocked over here, so I brought it over to the door.
What the hell am I doing?
I just had to scrub the door vigorously, and the scratches disappeared.
Need wheel. Wheel. Tire. Get that on there? We're gonna do a minigame for everything, dude.
It wasn't rocket science. I just had to unscrew the flat tire and screw on the freshie. Looking good, but I still wasn't done, and I couldn't figure out what else was wrong with the vehicle.
What else do you want me to do? I'm confused.
I was baffled for a decent stretch, but I soon spotted these replacement mirrors all lined up ready to go, and that was the clue I needed. This was the third variety of car repair that I was currently capable of, simply breaking off the shattered mirror and slapping a new one on there. With that, I was finally done, and I earned $155 for my efforts, and an achievement for knocking over my first garage repair job. $155 seemed like quite a juicy payday, so I was happy with that, especially because a fair few scratch repair kits, tires, and mirrors had come as a bonus with the workshop unlock. I stood to make pretty good money out of the workshop before I'd have to restock, or at least that would have been the case. However, the quest was telling me to restock my car part supplies immediately. My foray into the garage had taken quite a while, so customers were queued up at the cash register and fuel dispenser. I served them all, and I spent $312 restocking my fuel supply once again. The price was now $2 per liter, by the way.
Okay, so now I can order car parts?
Except another car had shown up for repair, so I was distracted by that. And it had been pretty flamin' busy before opening the workshop, but with cars to repair added to the mix, I was now primed to be busier than ever. And repairing cars isn't exactly quick either. This car needed a scratch repair and one tire replaced. I finally got around to looking into ordering more car parts, and the game gave me better insight into the daily fluctuation of prices. I didn't have that much money though, so I just bought a car mirror and scratch remover for now, simply to knock over the quest. I avoided buying a tire because its cost price was marked red. But just to reiterate how pricing works, fuel, stock for the shop, and car parts all fluctuate in price, with the price changing daily at midnight. And there are graphs to track the prices and give an idea of what a good cost price looks like. I'd already begun a habit of trying to focus on buying only goods marked green, but now I adopted a more complicated practice of checking the price graph and erring towards only buying products that were at their lowest, beginning with buying a little more shelf stock.
Gonna be busy now. Between fuel orders, snack orders, cars in the garage, accepting deliveries of fuel, and tobacco, which I currently have a delivery of.
Honestly, that busyness was a big part of the fun for me. How efficiently could I juggle the tasks before me? In what priority order should I rank getting the various tasks knocked over? How much profit could I squeeze out of this enterprise? Now that I'd received the car parts order, the quest simply wanted me to grind away at my various shops.
All I've got to do is serve customers for the challenges now. Serve 25 customers, repair 5 cars, fuel 11 cars. That won't take too long, I don't think.
And upon fueling up the next car, another milestone.
Oh, I got popularity level 4. That'll help.
The Dust Bowl sign was officially only slightly buried. Huge news.
My sign is getting less and less ugly because I'm a local celebrity.
And so the grind was on. I immediately learned that some garage customers had rather laborious jobs for me. This one required a double scratch and double tire job. My mastery of the conveyor belt was otherworldly. Whip-fast scanning and flawless basket filling. And I was always happy to see some nicotine on the conveyor because it made more money than mere snackies.
Heavy on the tobacco there, mate. Good for you.
I'd say it's the antithesis of good for you, but it's good to be encouraging. I randomly bought an old barrel decoration and slapped it next to the door. I maintained a high level of excellence when it came to pumping fuel. These feral pig customers kept leaving rubbish on the floor, even though I had 2 perfectly good bins available for them to use at both entrances. And where I'd previously had moments of peace to focus on cleaning up the areas around my shop, that was no longer true, because the garage seemed to soak up all of my spare time. It made me money though, so I wasn't complaining. The garage also reinvigorated my love for shooting stuff into the bin, because I had a lot of flat tires to dispose of.
That's a nice shot. Dude, how far did that go?
And I hope you get the idea. I was juggling all the tasks and deliveries, pouring my all into the business.
Was that in? That was in. Heck yes. It's kind of hard because it disappears in midair. That was the 25-meter achievement. I need to get it at 50 meters or more as well.
Between all the hard work, lobbing garbage all over the place certainly brought me great joy. But I must admit, certain customers annoyed me.
I wish you would buy more than 1 pack of chips though. Silly gooses. Who dropped a flaming skull on the floor.
But seriously, each shop customer was taking up one of 3 available car spots. So when they only bought 1 bag of chips for $1.65, it was a bit of a bummer for the pace of profit. Honestly, just don't bother coming at all. Leave the car spot free for the high rollers that buy 15 packs of Pringles.
How come I can't tell what the issue is half the time? Am I stupid? What? Why are you still here? What else do you need?
This issue happened a few times, where it seemed like I'd repaired everything, yet the customer didn't pay and leave. I was baffled.
Press this. Oh, he was done. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, that guy was actually all good, but he didn't automatically leave for some reason. My cash on hand floated up to about $750, but I put in a cheeky shop order, making sure to buy goods at their lows, and you can see the challenge on the right was coming along nicely. Here I go, fueling up my 11th car. Meanwhile, I'd already run out of tires for the garage, but the cost price was still in the red, so I was reluctant to order more. I ended up ordering 5, and I should mention, it is actually impossible to not make a profit on these goods. Even items with their cost price in the red will still make you more money than you spend ordering them. But again, obviously the ideal is to make the order when the cost price is low to maximize that profit.
The fuel price is so bad, dude. Look at this nonsense.
However, in the case of that fuel price, I had a problem. My current sale price was $2.69 a litre, so ordering at a cost price of $2.80 a litre would result in a loss. But unlike all other items, which have a fixed sale price, you can of course change the fuel price up to a max of $5. I kept busy serving customers, accepting orders, refilling the tyre stock, and keeping the garage work flowing. And when I had a spare second, I contemplated raising the fuel price.
So I spent 38 bucks on the tire, I think. Oh, that was it. I spent 38 bucks on the tire, and that was an expensive price, and I got 50 bucks payment.
So there was my proof that buying stuff at a higher cost price still resulted in profit. Meanwhile, after ordering a fuel refill at the $2.80 price, I reasoned my way to ensuring it was profitable.
I paid $2.80 per litre for my most recent 100 litres of fuel, and I'm only charging $2.69 per litre, so I'm losing 11 cents per litre. However, if I'm accurate with my fill, then I'll get a tip. And so if I'm getting a 10% tip, that is definitely making sure I get profit.
With the 10% tip, my sale price would effectively jump up to about $2.96 per litre, meaning I'd secure 16 cents per litre. That is a pretty poopy profit margin. And of course, if I failed to get the tip, I'd make a loss. But that was what I decided to do for now rather than raising the fuel price, because I wanted to avoid reducing my gas station's popularity. Meanwhile, $255 paydays at the garage felt pretty juicy. The grind continued, and I even managed to stay on top of cleanliness, so it felt like things were moving smoothly, as my cash on hand began approaching $1,000.
This is the last cash register thing for the challenge. Thanks a bunch. Here we go. Upgrade the gas station to level 3 for $750. Alright, do it. Employee trailer. New event, the bus stop. Additional fuel dispenser. Alright, let's just do it. Station level 3, baby.
I had a quick look at what I was now able to buy, which included adding a second fuel dispenser for $750. Adding that would obviously double the flow of fuel purchasing customers.
Okay, it's now past midnight, which means prices will have reset. Tires? Good. Tires are now on like a nice kind of price. The problem is I have no cash.
Yeah, I just spent $750, but I bought 5 tires because I'd run out again already. And I was happy to see the fuel had at least dropped a good amount down to $2.25 per litre. After accepting some money from customers, I ordered yet another 100 litres of fuel. I'm giving all this detail about my purchasing stress to illustrate that at this point in the game, it was definitely a juggling act. The profit margins were tight, and I had fuel, shop shelves, and garage shelves to restock, so it was tricky to keep it all in balance. I next had a fairly long stretch of focusing on rebuilding my money base after sinking that $750. And for the life of me, I could not figure out what else needed repairing on this car.
You want me to pay full price for this?
Dude, what am I missing?
By the way, happy customers were only giving 1% of popularity towards the next level now, so the popularity grind was already looking pretty intense. And then I realized my gas station had grown a bunch thanks to the level 3 upgrade, which was nice, I guess, but on the other hand, I now had to do a bunch more painting. By the time I had about $800, prices for garage parts were still pretty favorable, so I sunk a few hundred on that. I served 5 or so customers back to back while waiting on that delivery to arrive, and when it did arrive, I had this to say.
This is pretty intense.
But what do they say about work? It ain't work if you love it. Do they say that? I don't actually know if anyone says that. Also, I didn't necessarily love all the busy work, so I guess it was indeed work. But on the other hand, I was addicted to the grind, so maybe I did love it. When I ordered a full 200 litres of fuel, it felt like I'd somewhat rebuilt after getting behind the 8 ball, spending $750 on that upgrade. And I finally sunk some money on the next upgrade that the quest wanted me to get.
Let's get this bus stop. Boom. Bus stop.
The addition of a bus stop out front resulted in some rather intriguing visitors.
Oh. There's a... Wait, what? Huh? The bus arrived. It's some kind of extravagant dinosaur alien dancing bus? I don't have any alien snacks, dude.
The aliens and dinosaurs don't mind. They were gonna shop regardless.
You're a lifesaver.
The raptor said, "You're a lifesaver," and gave me the thumbs up and then resumed dancing.
The dancing could not be stopped. It was wonderful. But I'd never had this many people queued in the shop before, so it was getting a little overwhelming.
So many dancing idiots.
The profit for selling snacks isn't exactly crazy, but it's better than nothing. Though perhaps the more important benefit of these guys was the popularity boost, as I served a large number of customers rather quickly.
There's the last party goer. There we go. Served the party bus. Got the party bus achievement. Answer the phone from uncle. Okay. I need to clean up, dude. Yeah, the party goers, man. They had radioactive footprints.
The garage had fallen off my radar while I was busy dealing with the dancers, so I caught up on that, which earned another achievement.
Machine head. Fixed 10 cars. Nice. Achievements coming in. I got 44 achievements already. That's crazy.
Hope you didn't get trampled beneath all the customers coming in from that bus. If you're feeling overworked, how about investing in...
Apparently I'd had enough of Unk's rambling, as I simply ran off, but he was suggesting I look into employing someone.
Wait, what? Oh, popularity level 5, man. Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
After working solo for a few more minutes, I spent $400 buying my first trailer.
Bought first caravan. Nice. So now I can hire because I'm gonna give them a trailer. Anthony or Andrew?
According to the bios, Andrew just finished working 3 jobs simultaneously, while Anthony knows how to juggle gas pumps with the grace of a ballet dancer.
I think I want someone to do repairing for me. Repairing is a headache, and then they can have a second job. Definitely repairing. This guy's slightly cheaper at his repairing, so I'll hire Anthony.
As I mentioned earlier, repairing cars was definitely my most time-consuming job, and I also seemed to suck at it, as I sometimes accidentally sent customers away before the repairs were actually finished.
Anthony, mate. How's it going, bro? I want your primary job to be repairing cars, and your secondary job can be cleaning the station.
So not only would I pay him an hourly rate based on which job he was doing, I'd also provided him an illustrious home. And he would focus on his primary job, repairing cars, but once there were no cars queued up, he'd fall back on his secondary job, cleaning up the gas station.
Without the garage, I think I'm not gonna have anything to do. Are you getting to work, big fella? Oh, he's popping off, and he just did it in like 5 seconds. What a beast. Wait, is he cleaning up as well? He's cleaning up. Oh, he's amazing. How do I pay automatically?
I believe ticking that box meant that I'd pay the legend automatically, and I never really kept close track of how much I paid him, but between his 2 jobs I guess it was an average of $10 an hour, an extremely generous wage. And he was on the day shift, a whopping 12-hour day shift. For the other 12 hours of each day he would rest. Ideally I would force him to work 24 hours a day, but apparently there was an issue with labor laws or some nonsense like that. Anthony hit level 2 in cleaning already. What a hero.
How much do I owe you?
How much do I owe you? So he's not going to work at night though, so I'll have to do the garage at night, but that's fine. Yes, Anthony. Clean this woman's foot.
With Anthony taking care of the garage and the cleaning, I suddenly had spare time again. I was kind of unsure what to do with myself. I ended up investing in a small newspaper stand and alcohol stand, because I figured it wouldn't hurt to increase the range of in-store stuff I had for sale. Each shelf cost a couple of $100s, so this wasn't exactly the best investment, but it was nice to fill up the store some more. And I of course ordered some alcoholic bevies and papers. Soon Anthony's first 12-hour shift was over, and upon paying him, I was done with the tasks for this level. And now it was just a big fat challenge before I could go to gas station level 4.
I gotta serve 100 shop customers? Okay. We're just on the grind now, man.
45 cars fueled, 100 shop customers served, 10 cars repaired, and 40 tips received. That's what I had to do before I could level up the gas station once more. The grind was indeed on, but at least I had my best friend Anthony keeping me company. Soon the alcohol and newspapers had arrived, so they were added to the shelf. And I was excited, hoping to see some new products come down the conveyor belt. But sadly, the next 3 customers were just snack addicts, apparently.
Alright, I gotta do this crap because Flamin' Anthony's on strike. Sleeping or something? Dude, all the tires. He used all the tires. Anthony, how did you use all the tires?
I really shouldn't badmouth my best friend Anthony behind his back, but honestly, it is a bit ridiculous that he chose to go to sleep rather than work 24/7.
Yeah, this is... takes forever every time I do it. I need Anthony.
Despite my bad attitude towards Anthony's legal right to time off the clock, I still enjoyed lobbing trash at the dumpster. I was trying to hit that 50-meter shot, but sadly had no luck. This customer bought some alcohol. I don't know what beverage that was because I wasn't really paying attention, but I guess the price was decently high, as it resulted in a $19 sale.
Have a nice day.
Have a nice day.
As you can tell, I genuinely couldn't help repeating the glorious accent that these ridiculous people had.
Out of tires again. Tires is the hardest thing to maintain. I think it's an average of every single car that comes in on average wants 2 tires.
Tires remained the most in-demand commodity for the entire game. They absolutely flew off the shelf, and because of their relatively high cost price, it was quite hard to keep a decent stock of them. During this particular wild Dennis attack, I managed to assault him before he got the chance to spray even 1 drop of paint, a most impressive defense. And I should highlight, I was getting less than 1% of a population level per happy customer now. I decided my next unlock should be more car park spaces, because I needed to serve a whopping 100 shop customers, and with a maximum of just 3 coming in at a time, that was coming along rather slowly. So I fired up Rudy and cleared some sand out of the way. I was only going to be able to afford 3 more spaces, but while I was at it, I got inspired, and ended up clearing all the sand in the car park area. And I'm sure it probably goes without saying by this point, but I of course quickly served customers in between.
Let's get another parking lot going. $500.
I should note, the optimal play would have been to hike up my fuel prices and gun for opening up a second fuel dispenser ASAP. But at this point, I was still too shy to raise the fuel price, for fear that would hurt my popularity too much. Apparently, Anthony woke up and got back to work, because I earned the well-versed achievement, thanks to him reaching level 5 in cleaning. And the flow of shop customers officially increased.
This is the first time I've had 4 cars parked.
I got back into the swing of things, slowly chipping away at the challenges by simply serving customers. And thankfully, Anthony's efforts repairing cars contributed to the cars repaired stat in the challenge. And all the while, my other objective was simply to save money towards my next upgrade. When night came around, I was once again back in the garage, doing the repairs for my lazy best friend Anthony, but at least that meant I was hands-on finalizing this achievement.
Incredible! Grease monkey, that's a bit rude. Fixed 25 cars. I've just got to grind this out, man. I've just got to get 69 more shop customers served, 22 more fuel dinguses served. Dude, that guy spent 50. That cop spent 50. I think he just bought... He put so much alcohol and spent $50.
And I guess I'll highlight it again. It was rather hard to save money when I felt like I constantly had to restock all 3 of my businesses.
Kind of feels like I spend more than I make. You know what I mean?
That of course ultimately was not true, but as I said, it kind of felt like it was true. When most of your net worth is tied up in stuff you're trying to sell, it's easy to feel broke.
Whoa, super.
Whoa, super. Get these shelves full, dude. Fuel capacity is pretty useful, but it's not crucial. So I don't think spending $250 on this is worth it right now. I can buy a pneumatic hammer. Wait, what? Did I just buy that? Why did I buy this? I thought it was like $500. I didn't even know. Did I have enough money for it? Why did I buy this? I bought a flaming jackhammer, dude. What for?
I couldn't even use the flamin' thing while the gas station was open. I had to close it to actually give it a try. And I must confess, I completely forgot to ever close the store to test it. So yes, that was a great purchase. Am I right?
I feel like if you have this many customers, you do start to make okay money. Alcohol and cigarettes on the shelf. Pretty decent sale cost. Anthony, what's his name again? Albert? Anthony Albert? Is he working? Are you working, Anthony Albert? Of course you are, you big legend. Have a nice day. This woman bought 2 vodkas. Is it vodka? I don't know. And a big can of beer. About 1 million schnacks. That's a $40 sale.
You're amazing.
You're amazing. You're amazing. I'm out of tires again already. For goodness sake, dude.
They really need to find a way to clean up the nails all over the roads of whatever hellscaped dust poo land that I was in, because every single car needed about 37 flat tires replaced. And frankly, even with Anthony Albert's help, I was not up to the task, but I tried my best. Meanwhile, I kept failing at landing my 50-meter shot.
I spent like $500 on a flaming pneumatic hammer. Get to work, Anthony. You got this. I restocked your tires. I think I will get the warehouse upgrade, because what it means is when something's cheap, I can buy more, particularly when fuel's cheap.
That increased my max fuel capacity from 200 liters to 350 liters, so I would indeed be able to stock up on more fuel once it hit a cheaper price point.
Oh, that's got to be good. Oh, that was 44.86 meters. Oh, we got a party bus. The party bus is here. Bunch of idiots have showed up again.
This was non-stop shop customers, helping me zoom through my challenge and also racking up some decent popularity.
I'm getting smashed. I had a queue of like 10. And I got someone at the garage. I got a warehouse delivery. I have no fuel left, and there's someone at the fuel pumps. Midnight. Please tell me it's cheaper. Yes, it's 5 cents cheaper. We got 300 liters of fuel. That'll keep us going for a fair while.
That wasn't exactly the dream price, but as I said, it was 5 cents cheaper than yesterday, so that was something. After the chaos of my second party bus visit, I managed to get things under control, just in time to complain about tires again.
Car wheels are back up to $40. Give me a break, bro.
I then got very confused by my extra toilet space.
Dude, what are these? I don't know about these toilets.
My next big purchase was a random palm tree for some reason, and I had about $800, but I was also close to finally knocking over the challenges, so I decided to hold off spending until I progressed the story a little more.
Oh, that was good. Yeah, that's what we needed, baby. Hit the trash can with a score over 50. Buy some of the whiskey, please. How come no one buys the whiskey? Oh, this guy bought whiskey.
After knocking over that glorious 50-meter achievement, I had another peek at the achievements and saw there was one to break into 10 cars, which reminded me that lockpicking was a thing in this game. Turns out you can steal from the boot of most cars that park and visit your store. The first theft I did got me a few dollars and a lovely poster.
Orbital Racer poster. Get that bad boy on the wall, clearly. Man, I need to be stealing from cars more. That sounds very useful. If I can find cash in the cars, that'd be huge. All right, here we go. We got 2 customers here. I can finally finish the challenge. Received over 100 tips out of 40. Finally, the task is complete and I can upgrade my gas station to level 4. It costs 1,500? No, dude. But you get the car wash.
I now had almost $1,200, but it had been a slow burn to get that rich, as it was always 2 steps forward and 1 step back. But I was getting there, slowly but surely. And this is where the glory of stealing became my favorite. Some of the locks were master difficulty, some intermediate, and some beginner. The harder ones tended to result in stealing better stuff. And the way that it's harder is that the margin for error turning a lock is way smaller. But as long as you're careful not to force it, it's not that bad.
Got it. I got 22 bucks out of this car boot. That's not bad. That's free money as well. This might be the most lucrative business I've ever done. What happens if I do this right in front of you? I can't. You know what? This is not gas station simulator. This is steal from boot simulator. Or trunks. Trunks. So you know what's good about stealing from a boot of a car? It's all margin. All right, you go inside. Don't look backwards, please. Thank you. Some of these are just free open. 13 bucks and a swamp photo. I love that. I'm pretty good at that, to be honest. 17 bucks and an old red barrel. Oh, bro, I'm so good at it because of my Skyrim history. Can I steal from you? I really just can't steal from you right in front of you. I don't understand. Is this the meta? Like, I should have been stealing from cars the whole time. The great thing about stealing from cars is it's all profit margin. It's a pure profit margin. Priority, 100%, is to get a bigger car park so I have more boots to steal from. A swamp photo? Like, look at that, man. The vibes in here are getting through the roof. 3 new bits of decor from people's boots. Like, why did this guy have a big red barrel in his boot? I don't know. I love it. Well, I'm up to $1,500. Upgrade the gas station. Let's go. You know the worst thing about upgrading your gas station is you have to flamin' paint more stuff. Look how much extra room I have to paint.
Gas station level 4, and a new era of criminal behavior, as stealing from boots was now my favorite revenue generating activity.
I will say it straight. I need a favor. Damn it. Guess it's that time of year. Better hide, kiddo.
I didn't get to hear my lovely uncle's favor request because a raging sandstorm had arrived, which he encouraged me to hide from. There was no way I was gonna hide though. I had some cars to steal from.
I'm stealing from boots in the sandstorm? Is that good or bad? 16 bucks. This is crazy profit. Whoever told you don't get into crime? Like, crime doesn't pay. Crime pays. By the way, I think there's supposedly a sandstorm going on. It really... I just got the achievement for surviving a sandstorm. The sandstorm literally did not bother me at all.
In the aftermath of the sandstorm, random piles of sand had formed, blocking my customers' cars, so I whipped out Rudy to clean up a little.
The car wash gonna be profitable? I don't know. Surely it's not more profitable than stealing from boots with my master lockpicking skills. Car wash level 1, I need $1,000 for that. Okay, no worries.
And so I was back on the grind, working my way towards earning the money required to restore the car wash. However, I had a spring in my step.
Get some. Get some. Get some. Get some.
Why did I have a spring in my step? Because stealing from cars was bringing me great joy, breathing some life into my gas station career.
Successfully stole from the boot. Bought/found. Oh, quick, before he drives off. No, come back. Do it. Do it. It's not letting me do it. Oh, come on, man. I don't care if it's master, I can do it.
Sadly, I was unable to steal from the moving car, so that was a shame. And missing out on that car inspired me to be quick. I needed to steal from every car before the customers left.
Nice. I think a cop just pulled up and he didn't even notice me doing that. I'm gonna get your car too. You snooze, you lose. Yeah, I'm popping off, bro. This is the best. Oh, you don't have a trunk to steal from, you stupid dingus.
But then I got a bit sloppy, and I learned what happens if you break 2 picks while trying to steal.
Oh yeah, I failed one. Run. Do either of the 2 police officers in there care? So if you fail, they just leave. You know what's crazy? I think I can sell this. I can.
I'd found 6 or 7 decorative items in people's boots, and this is when I realized that I could sell them. And some of the items sold for a whopping $100 of pure profit. But on the other hand, I didn't want to sell too aggressively, because some of those decorative items were going to be good for the vibes. But yes, this was the new flow of my workday. I did all the usual stuff, but I not only sold snacks to my shop customers, I also stole from their cars. That is what I call wringing every last bit of juice out of your clients.
Honestly, the priority is getting the car park bigger so I can steal from more boots.
I soon unlocked the achievement for stealing from 20 car trunks, and I learned that the little cars have their trunk at the front.
25 bucks and a coat rack? How'd you fit a coat rack in this tiny car?
At this point, I wasn't keeping up with restocking the garage because the constant demand for tires had been doing my head in. So Anthony served the garage customers by doing precisely nothing for zero profit. Meanwhile, my attention was on stealing, serving shop customers, placing decorations that I stole from people's cars, keeping the shelves stocked, and pumping fuel. And then I finally got bold with my fuel pricing.
I feel like I can sacrifice some fuel price. If I go $5, what happens? -6 popularity from fuel price. What if I make it $4? Only -2. I can cope with that. I'm getting +3 from decorations. I still have high traffic. $4 means I'm getting way more margin, even off $2.50 cost.
So that reduced my popularity by a few points, but it was currently nighttime, and even with the reduced popularity, my traffic levels were still normal. Really, I should have hiked the price a while ago, but now that I was getting +3 popularity from both landmarks and decorations, it was definitely the right choice to secure an extra $1.31 from each liter sold. I placed down a lovely coyote I stole from someone, and I served another batch of party bus maniacs. My next fuel customer felt quite juicy, securing $71 thanks to the price hike. And even with the store getting rather busy, I made sure to prioritize getting back outside to steal from the cars in the car park.
Garden painting is worth $44. $46. If I sell this, I make $46.
This was when I confirmed that the stolen goods can indeed be sold for the displayed price. Selling these random decorations was where the juicy profit came from thanks to the stealing.
This game is perfect at convincing you why crime is the thing to do. I think the high value play here is to buy another parking lot. I'm not even joking. Just so I have more cars to steal from. Just need to steal from this other customer. Great. As soon as you park, I'm stealing from your boot. He's not even out of his car yet. I'm stealing from his boot. Before they even walked away. It's just so good. Before they even walked away, you're just stealing from their boot.
I was on fire. It was glorious stuff. The thievery was unstoppable.
Buffalo horns, pretty sick. $79. Give it to me. Now I guess I better sell these guys their snacks so that they can get out of my store and new cars can show up that I can steal from.
Meanwhile, the increased fuel price was genuinely bringing in great profit too, and it was much easier than all the effort that went into stealing from the cars. The main thing I loved about the stealing was the fact that it was pure profit. You can't argue with a 100% profit margin. Although profit is a bit of an interesting word when it comes to stealing.
Well, what the hell? Oh, getting famous, baby. Level 6 popularity.
Even with my fuel price at $4 bringing -2 traffic was still high during the day, so I didn't really notice any slowdown in the flow of customers. Now it was just a matter of time on the grind until I could afford the next unlock, and my thieving ways helped speed things up, but my complete refusal to stock car parts in the garage probably slowed things down overall. I was of course also working towards level 7 popularity. The going was very slow, as multiple happy customers were required to get just 1%.
I've been robbed. What? Dude, there's a delivery driver in there. What a useless dingus. I have been religiously keeping this closed, but the one moment I get a bit sloppy with it, the flamin' Dennis the Menace shows up.
Before long, I completely legally got the achievement for buying/finding 25 decorations. I found pretty much all of those, completely unsuspiciously. Finders keeper type situations, if you know what I mean. As in, I found some cars in my car park and decided I wanted to keep the contents of their boots. And then I finally did what the quest had been asking me to do for quite a while. I spent $1,000 restoring the car wash.
A piano? What? How much does a piano sell for? $2.79? Okay, but it's pretty sick.
I placed the piano down here to significantly improve the vibe of the gas station. And here's the new car wash, with its first ever customer waiting to be served. I wandered over, grabbed the hose, and began spraying. But after just a few seconds, there was an issue.
Something's wrong with the water pressure.
I was forced to close the car wash, disappointing my first customer, and the quest wanted me to go find the sewer entrance. I served and stole for a while before heading over to the question mark that had appeared in the distance. And suddenly, I was heading into the sewers.
Oh my gosh, dude. I don't want to explore the sewers. Dennis was here.
The sewers were certainly a change of pace compared to my usual day-to-day tasks.
Find a way to unlock the door. Okay.
I headed around the corner and soon found a lever, which got that door open. And I continued forward with some trepidation, because I was a little bit worried about the terrifying roar I'd heard.
Saw my customers' turds. What? Oh my gosh.
I tried to carefully jump from platform to platform to get across the infested water, and it seemed to work out for me. I think mainly because the alligator wasn't actually programmed to attack, since this is indeed a gas station game, not an alligator fighting game. I followed the sewers and finally made my way to drop down here, which brought me to the blockage. This is where the water for the car wash came from, and the low pressure was because of all the trash that had piled up. Meanwhile, Gustav the alligator was hanging out, ready to eat the bags of rubbish. When I lobbed one at him, he munched, and another achievement was knocked over.
Clean up the trash by feeding it to the alligator. Oh, it's so silly.
It was indeed so silly, but when you think about it, it makes perfect sense. Although I wasn't convinced this water was particularly clean, so surely it wasn't ideal for washing cars. With all the bags gone, the water pressure to the car wash was fixed, and as a thank you, I got in close to give Gustav a kiss. I also collected another card from the catwalk above. Does anyone have any idea what the heck these random cards are for? Thankfully, I didn't have to backtrack all the way through the sewers to get out, as there was a ladder nearby that led right next to my gas station.
Well, that was a beautiful jaunt into the sewers. I'm very happy about that.
I slid the lid back on to contain the stench, but it was nice to have a sewer shortcut opened up.
I gotta be honest, that jaunt into the sewer is one of the best things I've ever done in my life.
Another car wash customer showed up, so I unleashed the restored water pressure. And I learned you can switch the nozzle, so I adjusted to make it shoot a wider stream. I also learned if you hold shift, all the dirt gets highlighted, so that helped me as I circled the car, spraying all over the place. But then the bloke said thanks and paid me $150, even though I hadn't washed about 1/4 of his car yet.
Did you just pay me $150? Okay, car wash is flaming lucrative, dude.
It was a little bit hard for me to admit, but my immediate realization was that the car wash was probably even better than stealing from people's car boots. $150 per wash, and that was indeed pure profit. I continued stealing anyway, of course, but I was very happy with the new revenue stream. Also, I found an old coffin in someone's boot. When the next car came in for a wash, I prioritized getting it clean immediately so that I could shoo the van away and make space for another valuable car wash customer.
Yeah, $150. It takes me like 15 seconds. That's crazy, dude. I had a good stint where stealing from trunks was definitely the MVP. But I think car wash might be it, dude.
Where was I? Oh, right. I need your help, and we have to be fast about it. Little Birdie told me that someone is passing through Route 66 with quite valuable cargo. You know how to lockpick, right?
Uncle, you would not believe how good I am at lockpicking. So not only was I up to my next challenge, which required me to fuel 100 cars, serve 250 shop customers, repair 20 cars, and receive 100 tips, I also had a 10-minute window in which I needed to steal from 10 cars on behalf of my uncle. I was planning on stealing from as many cars as possible anyway, so this was no burden at all.
Okay, I need 2 more. I need to clear out these cars. Oh, there's one more here. I'm gonna need 1 more. No, don't leave. No! I needed to steal from you!
I needed to clear out the shop customers so that new cars could park so that I could steal from 2 in the next 4 minutes. It was intense stuff, especially because yet another bus full of party idiots had shown up to clog up the shop. Thankfully, I was able to keep the flow going, and I broke into my 10th boot with a couple of minutes to spare.
There we go.
My reward was 10 likes, the equivalent of 10 happy customers worth of popularity, about 2 or 3% of the level, and also $100. But the weird thing was that when I stole from the next 3 cars, I got the reward again. I don't know if this repetition was a bug or an intended bonus, but it meant I earned $300 extra and 7% of this level's popularity extra, which was of course a huge amount. I was very pleased with that boost.
At this point, stealing from every car is probably not worth it, because I don't think I'm going to be struggling for money anymore.
And just like that, the glory of stealing from cars wasn't quite so high priority. Thanks to the car wash bringing in $150 of pure profit every couple of minutes, it seemed clear now that the bigger grind was going to be popularity, not cash. Stealing from cars sadly earns no popularity. I don't know why. While satisfying customers obviously does raise popularity. So it seemed obvious that churning through customers as quickly as possible was my new priority. I soon spent $750 buying another fuel dispenser. As I mentioned earlier, I really should have done this sooner, but it was good to double my fuel customer capacity. Better late than never. And another sandstorm showed up, which was inconvenient as it clogged up my entire operation. Just as I was trying to kick my grind into the next gear, I trundled along in Rudy to remove a sand pile.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Oh, for goodness sake, dude. Oh no.
There was another sand pile further along too, but once those were gone, I simply parked Rudy to the side and didn't even bother dumping the sand, because I wanted to get back to business ordering goods and treating my customers with care.
Like when I do the car wash, I do a lot of spraying the customer in the face. I mean, they stand foolishly close to watch the proceedings. What are you doing? Oh, there's more flaming sand, for goodness sake.
Rudy was working overtime, no doubt. But yes, between the higher fuel price, often generating close to a 50% profit margin, and the car wash generating 100% profit, business was booming. Although I was technically leaking some profit to Anthony, but he was tending to the garage and cleaning, so I guess those would fall into different loss categories on the spreadsheet. I even had some leftover stolen decorations to sell, helping boost the money boom even more.
I think a warehouse 3 makes sense. It's only $500. Warehouse 3, let's go.
That increased both my stock and fuel capacity, so that I could purchase and store even more when cost prices were low. And I was so rich, I was already able to buy the third pump for $1,500, maxing out my fuel business, allowing 6 customers to rock up at one time. And after my foray into crime, stealing from Boots, and though I was grateful for the regular cash injection thanks to the car wash, at the end of the day, the fuel business was actually the best business, especially with 3 fuel dispensers, and especially with a nicely hiked up fuel price. At this point, even if I wanted to steal from car Boots, I no longer had the time. I was simply on the grind, as my popularity trickled up to 40% of the way to level 7. I should mention again, it was always a great time when someone requested a large volume of fuel. I like moving large volume.
3 fuel bowsers is crazy.
Before long, I got the squeaky clean achievement for washing 10 cars. And even though I swore to my probation officer that my stealing days were behind me, when the steal from 10 cars challenge showed up again, I could not resist. I wanted the bonus popularity in particular, and it didn't disappoint. This time, I managed to get the reward 3 times in a row. I also got a glorious rocket out of someone's boot, so that made the relapse into crime even more worth it. For the first time, my cash on hand climbed above $3,000.
Oh, the price is amazing. Buy as much as you can, bro.
That was $900 on fuel in one go, but 500 liters would last a good while. And then I spent some money elsewhere, opening up a couple more bathrooms, slapping in some more palm trees, and adding a few picnic sets to improve the outdoor areas around my gas station. Fast forward about 6 minutes of business, and I had over $1,600 again, about half of which I decided to invest into the garage, as I bought 35 car mirrors at the cheap price of $29 a pop, so now Anthony would at least have something to do when he tended to the repairs. I didn't complain when another party bus showed up, because it meant more popularity and more progress towards the outrageous 250 shop customers served needed for the challenge, of which I still had about 170 to go. I then bought a second employee trailer. This was probably overdue, but now that I was slowly restocking the garage, I figured I'd better have someone work there around the clock. I hired Nina because she had the better stats, and also because she believed aliens would save Earth by the year 2077. I told her to work the night shift to match Anthony's day shift, doing the same jobs of cleaning and repairing. So now those tasks were looked after 24/7 by my 2 illustrious employees.
Oh, not another sandstorm. Please no sandstorm.
My next milestone, once popularity had climbed 73% of the way to level 7, was to upgrade the car wash to level 2.
Increase pump durability. I don't know what that means.
It just meant it'd be longer before I had to return to the sewers to clear the trash and feed the alligator. I hadn't even had to go back down there yet, so this wasn't exactly the most useful upgrade, but I needed to unlock it at some point anyway. Meanwhile, my new wealth meant the shop shelves were kept well stocked, as it was now relatively cheap to order heaps of snacks and tobacco at once. And I'd neglected the workshop for so long I forgot about upgrading it, but I now spent $750 getting it to level 2, and adding the ability to provide customers an oil change. This of course meant I needed to stock up on engine oil, but when I first looked it was at a high cost price, so I didn't bother until later. By this point, on day 19, I'd finished the car's fueled part of the challenge. Anthony and Nina had faithfully repaired cars, and they were up to 22 out of 25, but the slog to serve customers in the shop wasn't even halfway done.
I get $50 whenever a tire is changed. So $15 profit on each tire is not that bad. I think I do a big order.
Restocking the expensive parts of the garage didn't feel so punishing now that I was making money at a better rate, so it was officially a significant part of the business once again. And the money I was spending on Anthony and Nina's salaries would definitely be recouped by the garage sales, and then some. As dawn arrived on day 20, I was finally 90% of the way to level 7 popularity. By the time it was mid-morning, I dropped a few $100s on yet more palm trees. How good are palm trees? And in the afternoon, the water pressure finally became low once again, and I was forced to return to the sewers. Obviously, I had the shortcut just nearby, so this didn't take long, and Gustav the good boy enjoyed a delicious meal. Soon the water pressure was pumping, and I was back in business.
Oh, popularity level 7. Finally.
The sign was at long last looking genuinely presentable, and while that was the end of a long grind, it was of course also the beginning of an even longer grind. Getting to level 8 and beyond was going to be even slower. At this point, I finally branched out into some new stock at the shop, adding an ice cream freezer, into which went some choice chili sweets I'd ordered at low cost, a hat stand upon which I dangled some rather outrageous headwear, and some car care shelves to house a bunch of car cleaning stuff. By this point, I regularly had customers at the shop spending upwards of $40, so compared to earlier, that felt like a good injection of cash cash to go along with the fuel and car washing. Plus the garage repair work my staff were doing without me even having to think about it, beyond restocking the tires every now and then. Speaking of the garage, my next big spend was $1,000 on getting the workshop up to level 3, adding car battery replacements as an offering to our customers. Since I was sitting on quite a bit of cash, I bought 20 car batteries immediately, which set me back $1,400. It was nice to see a hornless Viking helmet show up in one of my shop sales, a most excellent choice of headwear, and not long after, this gentleman went for a double hat purchase, which I thought was ambitious, and that resulted in a $100 plus sale. Meanwhile, I still had 80 shop customers left to serve before I'd be done with the challenge. It was slow going. The money kept flowing in though, so I was able to spend even more on landmark decorations, including some festive silly willies.
Yes. Bit late for Christmas, actually. It's nearly February.
It's never too early to put up the Christmas tree. To give some clarity as to the comparative gain of money and popularity, in the time it took me to generate another $1,200 revenue, my popularity only went up 2%.
Asphalt road upgrade, $1,500.
You know the crazy thing about the asphalt road upgrade? It looked exactly the same as whatever road I had previously. Best $1,500 ever spent. But at this point, pretty much all of my big upgrades were locked behind getting the gas station to level 5, which I couldn't do until I finished the challenge, so I had nothing else to spend my money on. Therefore, this was a passage of waiting around and buying a bunch of random landmarks, a truly inspirational time. I probably should have been saving my money so I could unlock the useful stuff once I actually leveled up, but I guess I couldn't help myself. I eventually realized I had one slightly more useful purchase I could make, as I bought this glasses stand on which I displayed some lovely spectacles. And I must admit, I found it genuinely refreshing seeing random new varieties of products coming down the conveyor belt. Long gone were the days of schnacks and soft drinks only. Another party bus arrived to help me on my way, and finally...
One more. I'm only 23% of the way through level 7, dude. It's gonna take me forever. Finally, 2,500. I've saved up 3,500. Okay, we maxed out the gas station.
This meant I could now upgrade the warehouse, car wash, and workshop a couple more times. Also, I somehow activated the Valentine's decorations, which overrode the Christmas stuff.
The progress you are making is something to admire. There's no shame in calling you more than family. A business partner. But still, you owe me some cash, don't you? Relax. Once you have the money, just call me. No rush this time.
I thought you were in it for the love of the game, bro. After all this time, you're gonna demand the cash back? I owe Big Nuts $5,000. Fine.
It's true, Unc and I were closer than family. We were business partners. Except not really. I did not consent. But whatever, I'll pay the big idiot $5,000. Just give me a few minutes.
Sand, not a problem. Wash 50 cars. Boom.
50 times 150 is $7,500. That is one lucrative car wash.
Oh my gosh, I don't fit under there. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Oi! Hey! That was sick! Woo!
Okay, so I think I got it set on the Valentine's decoration. I kind of like that fun looking guy there. Sick maneuver, dude. I'm cleaning the interior for you. Is that good? You might get a moist buttocks when you try to drive away. Good luck with that. One thing that is painfully clear is that the grind to level 10 popularity is going to be ridiculous. I'm only 24% of the way to level 8. Dude, I got more room back here. I definitely need to rearrange, and I need to paint. I need to get everything looking spicy.
I spent $750 on the level 4 warehouse, adding 300 extra fuel and 400 extra inventory capacity, and I spent $1,000 maxing out the car park, adding 3 more spots.
Some people spend so much money. That's an $80 transaction. Holy dooly. Get 600 liters at $215. That's not bad. Employee reached level 10 in 1 skill. Oh, not bad.
That was Anthony hitting cleaning level 10. Not bad indeed. But at this point, I realized there was an achievement to get an employee to level 10 in every skill. I fiddled around with the fuel price, and worked out that at $4.60 per liter, I suffered a -4 popularity penalty, which was offset by my landmarks and decorations, so I figured it would be fine. In fact, I probably still would have had plenty of customers if I'd set the fuel price at the max of $5, but I didn't want to push my luck. My next purchases were a few shelves and stock to go on them, some toy shelves, stuffed animal shelves, and a pastry stand. With that, I had every possible shop item in stock for my never-ending flow of customers to enjoy. At this point, I decided to focus on saving up the $5,000 so that I could pay back my lovely uncle.
Just scan the naked cookie. There's a barcode baked into it. Oh, dude, that hat went flying. Can I get it? I can't get it off the floor. Dude, the bottle went flying as well. Stuff's just going flying.
My popularity crept up to 40% of the way to level 8, but my money-raising efforts were comparatively quick.
All right, let's call him and pay him back. Completed the camp. Okay, it is the end. Completed the campaign. Who's this big handsome fella? I got a spider tattoo, dude. Little snakey snake. on earth, dude? First aid?
This place you've got here is amazing. And you've got all the money? Great. That's mighty kind of you. Best of luck and hope I won't have to come back here all angry and everything. Forget to tell you. Boss left you a little something should help you with the little twerk. Go check out your parking area. Peace.
You left me a gift? Dennis defense siren. Oh, thank goodness. Can get rid of Flamin' Dennis. It was like deliberately bad voice acting. It's good stuff. Wait for the VIP to arrive. Okay. All my existing customers just cleared out. Well, that's awkward. Hello, Mr. VIP. Can you drive faster? Is that my uncle? I think it's my uncle. Hello, uncle.
With the campaign done, my uncle developed a habit of regularly visiting my store. And the only difference between him and a regular customer is that employees cannot serve him. You have to do it yourself. And if you serve him well 3 visits in a row, you get a bonus. But more on that later.
What did you order? He ordered 20 products. All right, let's get this right. I gotta like strategize fitting all these in. I can't afford to stuff up the VIP order.
Ordering 20 items was absolutely outrageous because it does actually become a little bit of a headache to fit them all in. But with my expert technique, I was able to get the job done.
Professional service.
There you go, mate.
And now it was time to upgrade my gas station into its glorious final form. But to buy every remaining landmark and upgrade was going to cost me well over $100,000, so the grind was on.
I feel like the worst grind is definitely gonna be popularity, but apparently if I have a party spot, I can get... Oh, with a party spot, I can get insane popularity chunks, just like all in one go.
I discovered you can get the party spot from a free DLC, so I'd installed that because I was definitely going to need all the help I could get. Meanwhile, I discovered the Dennis the Menace siren gives you free objects to throw at Dennis. Great stuff. And I wasn't sure what this party item switch did, but I soon figured it out.
Oh, turn that off. That's killing me.
I needed the next party unlock before I'd get real use out of the DLC, so I had to save up money for a while before spending $1,700 on a new party time spot. The party spot allows you to host parties every 2 in-game days, which is roughly every 45 minutes. To benefit from the party, you need to supply items into these vending machines.
They want 10 Viking horned hats, Betty's tonic.
For each container that you fill, you receive a reward in popularity. For example, providing the 10 Viking horned hats would give me 100 thumbs up, the equivalent of serving 100 customers. This was obviously going to save a lot of grinding, so I of course always ordered in the stuff that the party was requesting.
So in 24 minutes, everyone's gonna be delighted. 10 horned hats, 8 Aunt Betty's tonics. Okay, so this is ready to pop off. Oh, we got a flaming sandstorm. I hate the sandstorms. Oh, even cheaper? Okay, let's get another big order of fuel today. Eat up, Gustavi. Gustav is happy. You guys are stuck behind flaming sand pile, aren't you? That's why I have no fuel customers, because they're stuck behind a sand pile. Yep, I can already. Let's just do it. Another 200 fuel capacity. Okay, we got the maxed out warehouse now, level 5. VIP waits in line for about 2 years behind 67 customers. Here he is. He's only ordering 1. He ordered 1
Nice job.
drink. Good for you. I have no customers lined up for the first time forever. You know what that means? Steal from the boot of a police car.
I then realized I really should continue upgrading the party time, so I managed to do 2 more upgrades, which added 2 more vending machines, increasing the potential to earn popularity out of each party. The first party still hadn't rolled around yet, so I quickly ordered the requested goods and shoved those in there.
So that's an extra 170 thumbs up from those 2, and that'll come through in 6.5 minutes. I wonder what percentage of the level that will be. 294 thumbs up.
I'd only gotten about 7% of a level in the last 20 minutes, and there's no way that I served 294 customers in that time. So I was anticipating a pretty massive popularity reward from the upcoming party.
Delivery, fuel, $1.95 by almost 1,000 liters for almost 2 grand. Boom, so I'm gonna have 1,000 liters of fuel.
That was my first max fuel delivery, filling up the maxed out warehouse, and my gas station shop was likewise full to the brim with stock.
Here they are. Let's go, guys. This is gonna be an infinite clown car of dinguses, isn't it? Is it popping off? Is it popping off? So my popularity is at 60% of the way to level 8. All right, well, you guys have fun. This fuel delivery is still going because it's 1,000 liters. It's taking forever.
A couple of minutes later, the first party I ever hosted was complete.
Dude, it went up to 90%. That was 29%. It went from 61% to 90%. Okay, parties are good. The popularity just went nuts.
The party proved to be an absolutely immense boost to my popularity, which was a relief. The grind suddenly looked way less torturous, and I was able to upgrade the parties 1 more time.
So now I'll have 5 vending machines total.
With that, I had a new ongoing crucial task. Every 2 days, I had to check the vending machines and put in a big order to ensure I milked the parties for every bit of popularity I possibly could.
All right, I need to hire someone, dude. let's hire someone.
This was honestly long overdue, but I'd been holding off because I wanted to serve as many customers as possible myself to ensure I got the tips and the popularity. But with the parties to help me out, I decided that was no longer worth it, because I'd essentially be able to go semi-AFK and just wait for the parties to bring in the popularity. Also, employees do still earn popularity as well, but they also make quite a lot of mistakes, which loses popularity. So overall, they were definitely going to earn popularity way slower than if I served the customers myself. But as I said, the parties were going to do the heavy lifting now anyway. And so Jean-Pierre and Whitney were added to the team to handle the registers and serve fuel customers. Jean-Pierre had the day shift and Whitney had the night shift.
So I'm definitely gonna have to help him do fuel. That's fine.
I concluded that the cash register was going to keep the employees busy, so I figured I'd pick up the slack with the fuel customers. But serving just the fuel customers wasn't going to keep me that busy, so I was going to use my newly found free time to indulge in the glory of stealing from car boots.
The VIP in the way? Yeah, the problem is he can't serve the VIP.
I think they added this VIP mechanic along with the sandstorm sand piles to ensure you don't just go completely AFK and just let your employees autopilot for hours. You also have to auto stock pretty regularly, and I couldn't put an employee on the car wash, so there were a few reasons this didn't just turn into an idle game. That was my third VIP visit, by the way, and Uncle was impressed, so he gave me a buff up in the top right there. 10 minutes of 10% bonus income. Not bad. I next upgraded the workshop to level 4, adding the spark plug exchange to my repair options, and I bought the remaining 2 bathrooms as well. I continued indulging in the fine art of theft, and at long last my popularity reached level 8.
Ooh, the sign gets shinier and shinier.
The task to steal from 10 cars showed up again, so that helped earn some bonus popularity, but at this point it wasn't that much of a percent increase. But more importantly, my stock of funky decorations were growing, and I figured it was about time that I properly decorated the place now that my gas station was at its max size. So I rearranged the furniture and got busy decorating.
Oh, I had another party. Nice. Okay, that got me up to 16%.
I'd been on 4%, so that got me a solid 12% of the way through the level. During the previous level, the party got me 29%, so things had definitely slowed down considerably. I began giving the shop a fresh coat of paint, which took quite a while, and I soon spent $2,500 upgrading the workshop to max. Also, you can see on the right, a challenge had randomly popped up to repair 12 cars in a limited time period, with a very nice reward of 195 thumbs up. These challenges started and continued appearing in the post-game, providing a very juicy boost to popularity alongside the parties. I continued with my painting project. I put in some enormous orders. This one was for $3,000 of shop stock, and I decided to paint the toilet area interior with many different bright colors.
Dude, what the heck? This party's popping off, bro. What is that? Is there a UFO at this party?
Once the painting was done, I placed down all the decorations.
I don't know. I think that looks pretty good in here, right? That looks pretty good. It's kind of clean. Not bad. Got a rocket.
This nook down here was definitely the best part, with the big old bear.
I think a random coffin belongs there.
I think I got indecisive and rearranged even more after that, but the point is, it was beautiful. I let my employees handle much of the grunt work, I stocked the parties, I stocked the shelves, and the operation chugged along nicely. My next purchase came when I accidentally bought the handheld computer, which lets you access the PC from anywhere. It was actually quite useful, but kind of expensive. I also added a bunch of TPs over that way. But you get the idea. The aim of the game now was to keep things chugging along, earning a profit so that I could buy the remaining upgrades and decorations, and so that I could host parties and knock over challenges in order to grind out the popularity to reach level 10. The challenges seem to show up every 30 to 40 minutes, and they simply required serving a certain number of customers, so generally my employees completed them without me having to think about it. I then felt the workshop also deserved some paint, so I spent some time focusing on that, and my next purchase was the car wash level 3, which just added some more durability to the pump. And then I bought an airbrush, which I discovered lets you write things on the wall.
Poop. Nice. Nice poop.
I also began looking into the remaining achievements that I needed to get. I discovered one of them involved sweeping cars.
How do I get the achievement? I know there's an achievement. Oh, this is the random teepees I made earlier. Can I get the party bus to fly? Okay, party bus. Little car, surely it's easier. Oh, that's gotta be high. Surely, here we go.
That was the achievement to send a car very high in the sky. At around this point, I shuffled the job allocations around a little, just to try and optimize the leveling up of my employees, because I was aware I needed to get one of them to level 10 in every job. And I eventually spent a whopping $8,000 on the car wash level 4 upgrade, which improved the pump even more and added a shredder. So rather than grabbing the bags one by one to feed to Gustav, I could just hit the shredder button to get rid of all the rubbish. This was sad news for Gustav's nutrition, but it was a decent time save for me. Meanwhile, when when Dennis showed up, the siren literally went off to warn me, so it was quite dramatic, and it generally led to me chasing him around with a piece of furniture. And then it was time to dip my toes into getting the most difficult skill-based achievement of the game, achieving a time of 1 minute and 2 seconds in the arcade remote control race. My initial approach was a slow and steady wins the race type deal, because I figured I should just get some finishes on the board in order to place a benchmark time, and to give myself a chance to learn the intricacies of the track, its many turns, its obstacles, its dodgy terrain, and of course the location of the many checkpoints.
Holy moly. Wait, what time do I need to get for the achievement? Beat the desert RC course with a time of under 1:02. What? That seems pretty flamin' hard, dude.
I just achieved a 1:22, so I had to shave another 20 seconds. Easy. At this point, I bought 2 more camper vans and hired 2 more employees.
She choked on fuel while trying to pull it out of a car parked on the side of a road.
This duo provided another day shift and night shift for me to make use of, so I set them to restocking shelves and cleaning in order to free up my other employees to work on jobs that they needed experience in.
So now everything is automated except for washing the car. And the VIP. You have to do the VIP.
And I was still going to have to order stock and accept deliveries. But yes, the business's automation was fairly comprehensive. This meant I was mostly free to practice my RC skills, so I got busy practicing. I gave jumping a try, but it seemed almost impossible to control the car once you went into the air, so I decided jumping was a bad plan. I also developed a habit of hitting F to quit as soon as I crashed, so that I could quickly restart. And I definitely had quite a few massive crashes. The handling of the car is a little dicey. Its steering is pretty sensitive, so I was being quite gentle with it, and any bumps on the track had quite a dramatic effect on the little zippy RC. So as I got to know the course, I was always conscious of trying to stay on flat terrain where it was easiest to maintain speed. But these early runs weren't at all impressive. I was scouting the course, getting a sense for how aggressively I could floor it, trying to figure out the best lines, and to develop an understanding of where I needed to slow down, while of course also trying to minimize the need to slow down, because the rather daunting prospect of getting a 1:02 time certainly wasn't going to allow me to dawdle. I had breaks to accept deliveries, to serve the VIP, and to wash cars, and then I would get back to it. So let's break down the race a little. The first section is nothing fancy. You can go full tilt for the first 4 checkpoints. You just gotta be somewhat careful with your steering. But the 5th checkpoint has a rather sharp turn after it, so this is where I flipped a fair few times. I generally slowed a little here, no braking, but I eased on the accelerator for a second, and tried to minimize the severity of the turn by taking a little bit of a wide line. Then for the next 5 checkpoints, you can once again go full speed. And as I grew more confident, I improved my line along these easier sections, trying to be as efficient with my movements as possible. But then came the jump, a ramp with a sharp drop after it. On this early attempt, I somehow landed that as I had the foresight to slow down a little, but yes, this is definitely a compulsory slow down situation. If you go over the ramp at speed, it's pretty much impossible to maintain control. The next couple of checkpoints are fairly relaxed, but then there's a fat windmill right on the track, so this is where I developed a line through the bushes. It was a little bumpy and hard to see due to the foliage. After that, the remaining few checkpoints weren't so bad. There were some cheeky obstacles in the way, but decently careful steering meant you could pretty much go full speed until the end of the race. And you of course had to go through every checkpoint, so you couldn't do any ridiculous shortcuts, but there were definitely some opportunities to shave off time by taking more optimal pathing.
1:10. At least I've already shaved 10 seconds off my time.
Yeah, that was my second full attempt, ignoring the 1 minute 44 I got way back at the start of the game, so I felt pretty positive. I definitely had several spots in the race that I could work on to shave time off. But what followed was a bit of a schmozzle. My mentality was, I need to shave off 8 seconds, so my approach became a little too aggressive. I was focused on speed, and therefore control kind of went out the window. As a result, I had several attempts that were non-finishes. And then a party finished, pushing me 92% of the way through level 8 popularity.
This RC nonsense may be the death of me.
I guess now's a good time to fully explain the fear I had surrounding this difficult achievement. My friend Shawnee Jew 100%ed this game a while back, and I did a little research for this video by asking him how long it took. He said overall it wasn't too bad, except that he spent 10 hours doing the damn RC achievement. This was about a year ago, so I didn't think much of it, except to wonder what the heck was he doing with an RC in a gas station game. But now that I was playing it myself, I was wondering if I too was going to be grinding this out for 10 hours. I continued with my streak of crashes and mild crash outs. Occasionally interrupted by ridiculous tasks such as scooping up sand. I finally calmed down enough to actually complete another attempt, but my time was a couple of seconds worse. And let's just say, it's not wise to attempt challenges like this while tilted. So enjoying the chance to spend a ridiculous $12,000 on the final car wash upgrade was a welcome diversion.
Ooh, yeah. Oh yeah.
This made the car wash fully automatic, so that was another task I no longer had to bother with. Great news. And then I created a diversion of my own.
Beware Poseidon's Kiss.
Shout out to those of you who know about the terrifying glory of Poseidon's Kiss. And then it was back to the remote control car, where after a few more unfortunate runs, I got into a better headspace with more positive vibes and self-talk. Of particular note was an effective method for the ramp, an abrupt brake, allowing a smooth rollover with minimal downtime.
And that's the way to do that.
But this mess here, where I zoomed through the bushes and the cacti, I wasn't really confident as to which line I should be taking.
I think you gotta get back on the road there.
This run was kind of wonky, but it was level-headed and didn't feature any massive mistakes. I was just locked in, trying to finalize my thoughts on how to approach each section.
You're gonna go right or left of that ramp.
By this point, I'd only really seen this last section a handful of times, but I realized on this attempt that there's a pretty decent time save if you beeline and ignore the road heading towards the end. Overall, this went amazingly well, and I didn't even realize that until the end.
That was 104. That was 104. Dude, what the hell? That wasn't bad.
Suddenly, I had confidence. Suddenly, I was wondering if Shawnee Jew is simply an absolute goose, while I am an RC prodigy. The next two attempts didn't go so well, but then I locked in again, muttering to myself about strategy the entire time.
Yes, it's clean lines there, that's better. And then here, it's like a last second brake and accelerate, so you get a smooth little noodle over the hump. Here, I just gotta be like patient. That's not too bad, but it's not good either. Here I should really be going left of the bones. Here I think you can get an insane shortcut. Got away with that. 104 again. I definitely had some serious inefficiencies there, so I feel like I can stand on business.
About 30 seconds later, my employee finished off a challenge earning a chunk of popularity and finally bringing me to level 9. I say finally, but I think that may have actually been quicker than the grind for the previous levels, thanks to the challenges and the parties. Back at the RC car, my next attempts weren't quite so delectable. A party ended, but only got 7% of the way towards level 10 popularity, so it seemed it was going to take a few hours for that last level. And then after a few more stinky attempts, some RC glory happened. I'm going to commentate this while watching back, unscripted, so who knows what will come out of my mouth. Here comes Floydson through the first checkpoint, not bad. Second checkpoint looking good. He's a bit loose on his lines here, a little bit wobbly, that's fine. Under the windmill, nice, looking smooth. Checkpoint 4, or was that the third one? I don't know. This is the 5th one. Bit of a dodgy turn. Oh, nearly flips, that's okay. That turn there may have got the heart rate up. Overall though, you want to stay calm in these situations. You want to keep it smooth, you want to keep it easy. All right, big ramp coming up here. Hang on, no, I'm mistaking where we're up to. It's been a while. Oh, very wobbly, very wobbly. Here's the big ramp. Oh, brake. Oh, yep, plop down. Yep, pretty smooth, not too bad. He must be feeling pretty good about this run, the young Floydson. Oh, little dodgy, little dicey, little spicy. Oh, the bushes and the cacti. Thankfully, they don't actually block your path, but it is pretty oh, that is one of the smoothest moments he's had in that particular part of the run. Avoid the giant ribcage. Is that some lag? What's going on? Here we go, a ramp. Oh, he's just avoided the ramp. He's almost flipped there. That's crazy, but he must be feeling elated. He must be feeling like this could be the one. Oh, there's a shortcut available. Oh, he nearly ran into, oh! yes. Huge.
Oh, dude, that wasn't even that clean. I was so worried it was going to take me 5 years.
So I checked the timeline based on my recordings. I spent 1 hour and 5 minutes attempting that. But I didn't have attempts back to back. I was also breaking regularly to host parties and do little chores. And I also went AFK for a few minutes. And I also got distracted writing something about Poseidon's kiss on the wall. So it was really only about 50 minutes of attempts.
I mean, rip Shawnee, I guess.
That was a very juicy and very satisfying achievement to have knocked over, no doubt about it. I turned my attention to the grindy achievements ahead of me, and I had 2 employee contenders racing to level up all skills to 10.
Nina and Jean-Pierre are going to compete, I think. Do I need ice cream vending to level up?
No, you don't. Only the other 5 skills count for the achievement. I bought a new RC track, the Mines, and it was indeed a lovely race through the mines. I took my time, bumping into walls and displaying the driving skills that helped get that record just a few minutes ago. And another achievement was mine.
Completed the RC race on the mining shaft track. All I had to do was complete it. There was no timer on that one, so that's done. It's done and dusted, my friends.
Yeah, thankfully there is no time trial achievement for that one, so my elite driving skills were not required again. And at this point I had all the achievement relevant upgrades, but I figured I might as well unlock the ice cream stand from the party DLC. And I wish I had not, because this was just yet another thing I had to supervise. But on the other hand, everyone loves ice cream. But on the other hand, I completely neglected the ice cream stand.
No ice cream for you guys. I can't be bothered.
You know what else I can't be bothered doing? Firing up old Rudy to scoop sand, but I guess I have to. And then when I was bouncing around doing who knows what, I spied something red among the rocks.
The heck? Wait, what? Oh, oh, something is going wrong with this thing. Oh yeah, I think I just went to the moon. That was the achievement to get really high into the air. I had no idea.
I then did something way overdue. I began abusing my employees. You see, these slackers only worked 12-hour shifts because clearly they do not care enough about making me money.
Okay, I just paid $200 for his energy. And I filled up his energy again.
However, if you shove $200 into their belly, their energy refills. You can do this once every 24 hours, which drastically reduces the amount of rest they need to recover energy. Even doing this, they still do need to rest sometimes, but very little. As for increasing the length of their pathetically short 12-hour shifts, well, no one said I can't make them do 2 12-hour shifts in a row. All I had to do was change their allocated shift time as soon as day turned to night, and vice versa.
Yeah, I'm gonna make Nina and Jean-Pierre work 24/7 now. Just pay $200 to give them energy back.
I set them on different jobs, so they level up simultaneously without stealing each other's experience, and I would swap their jobs around later as needed. I then spent $8,500 installing a lottery machine out front, and I quickly realized this might be another great source of popularity. I set up a $1,000 lottery prize, and it seemed that when someone won that money, I would get 260 thumbs up. Not bad.
35 ticket, but a 2.5% chance that they win. But it also gets me popularity.
Another party popped off. I continued forcing my 2 favorites to work round the clock, and it was just a matter of time. Also, I bought a basketball court.
You're an unacceptable 2-headed ogre, and I refuse to give you ice cream. So I'm kind of just waiting around for parties to get popularity. I'm waiting around for my dudes to level up their skills. Jean-Pierre and Nina. Jean-Pierre, he's hit level 10 cash register. Okay.
Beyond managing those 2 things, I had to occasionally serve a VIP, I had to occasionally order stuff, and I occasionally had to unclog the sewers. But that was all. It was mostly running on autopilot. So at this point, I put the game into windowed mode and had it chilling on the second monitor. Mostly ignored, except for when I saw I needed to tend to that short list of priorities.
So I realized something. For some reason, I thought these ice cream stand people were coming in from the street, just like wandering, which makes very little sense. Use up a car spot when they're waiting, which means I currently have like 9 guys in line for this crap, and that means a bunch of car spots are taken, and that minimizes drastically how many people are at the cash register, which means Nina, let's give her this by the way, free energy, which means Nina is getting way less cash register experience.
Long story short, I told my old friend Anthony to work at the ice cream stand to keep the customers flowing.
Oh, there's a party on. Good stuff. I totally forgot about the lottery machine. I made $1,225 off it in ticket revenue, and then this guy's finally won. He looks really happy about it as well. If I do end lottery, do I get 260 thumbs up? I did. That's 6%. That's a lot.
With that, plus the party that ended like 2 seconds later, I was suddenly 46% of the way to level 10. And an indeterminate amount of time later,
Nina has been grinding hard, and she's got level 10 repairing up. So I'm just going to put her on a full-time cash register. One other thing that I forgot to mention that's been quite annoying is sandstorms. Putting piles of flaming sand around that I have to shovel out of the way.
I'd been keeping one eye on this grind for a couple of hours by this point, and I was tired of the sandstorms. I mostly didn't bother recording, but here's some footage of when Jean-Pierre hit level 10 fueling. What a trooper. But by this point, I had a feeling Nina was going to win the race. Jean-Pierre was simply too far behind on repairing levels. An hour or 2 later,
once I pay this winner, boom. There it is. There it is. Superstar popularity level 10. We got some fountains?
a massive achievement.
Oh yeah, I mean, that was a grind, right?
This was great news, because now I didn't have to bother with supplying stuff for the parties anymore. And you may have noticed, I was now sitting on $50,000 cash, so it was time to spend.
Let's start buying some of this stuff. The needle with a bunch of wrecked cars on it. Very good. Dutch angle billboard. Yes, please. A food truck that's a little bit worse for you, I would argue. The Dino Rancho. And some more signs and more dinos. And some mushrooms, apparently. Dude, this is also expensive. The Dachshund. Beautiful. And then the red rocket chair is 66,000.
Yeah, I was gonna have to save up for a few more hours to be able to afford that big old chair.
I can't afford the Ferris wheel though. I think it needs to be done. With the Ferris wheel? Let's go. What a view of my dino ranch. What the heck? Let's check out the dino ranch. Wait, I can't. I can't visit the Dino Ranch? I think the Christmas decorations are the best, man. Let's put the Christmas decorations on.
Sometime later, Nina was finally level 10 in 4 out of the 5 required skills.
There we go. Level 10 fueling. She's gonna put on restock shelves.
This is when I whipped out an excellent tactic. As soon as she stocked a shelf, I unstocked it, teleporting all the stuff back to the warehouse. And then she had to place it again and again. Forever. This sped the leveling process up a lot, but it still took ages.
So I've been doing this for a while now. I think I've been doing it for about an hour. Just into level 8. A bit more work to do here.
Not exactly hard work, but I may have fallen asleep.
There it is, baby. Nina has finally reached level 10 in all skills.
That was every single achievement I could get in this playthrough, but I was only on 52 out of 53 landmarks. However, I needed to save up another $40,000. Before doing that, it was time to fire up a new game. You remember how it goes? Somewhere on Route 66, blah blah blah, gas station, crazy uncle, etc. But this time was different, because I was going for the achievement to pay back Unc's $5,000 loan the first time round. I began by setting the fuel price at the max $5 per liter. I worked through the campaign tasks as quickly as possible.
Okay, one thing that's very important that I do right now is press this button. How did I miss this the first time? Yes, I think you're supposed to accidentally press that when you first open your thingo.
And with the $5 fuel price, I obviously made decent fuel profit. Beyond that, I indulged in my favorite hobby of stealing from car boots. I stopped progressing the quest before Uncle demanded payback of his loan, because once he asked for it, you've only got a few minutes to comply. I needed to save up the $5,000 before that point. To help achieve this, I employed the glorious strategy of parking Rudy on the highway, so all the cars would have to stop. And then while they were stopped, I stole from their boots. Somehow none of the drivers seemed to notice. I also served any fuel customers because the profit margin was obviously worth it, and the highway robbery was reasonably effective, but it was a little slow as I had to maneuver Rudy around and some of the cars weren't cooperative. Also, it blocked traffic to my gas station, meaning those juicy fuel customers arrived less frequently. But it did pay off big time when I found this UFO in someone's boot.
Okay, so this was an insane find. It's sick because it sells for $4.20. Of course it sells for $4.20.
I kept up the boot stealing silly willies for a while, but I eventually decided it was too annoying, and I wasn't really convinced it was even that time efficient. I instead wandered over to this game. It costs $5 to play, but you win $15 when the ball goes in the goal. It takes at most 10 seconds to win, so it probably earned me about $60 profit per minute, if not more. I played it over and over, paying half attention while watching something on my other monitor. I had a break from shooting the ball whenever a fuel customer showed up, and while I was no longer blocking the highway, I did steal from the car park cars, in hopes that I'd find another UFO. I spent over an hour doing this, which honestly isn't that bad at all.
Successfully ground out $5,000.
I progressed the quest a little until Unc asked me to pay him back.
Let's do it. Pay off. Pay off. Boom.
Pay off your uncle's first loan on time. Complete. Now, that was 90 out of 101 achievements, but the remaining 11 are done in the Tidal Wave DLC, which is basically an entire new game with a new area, and I'm not going to be tackling that in this video. I had 100% completed all achievements relevant to the Dust Bowl gas station of glory. I was done, except for one thing. I needed to purchase a giant chair. So back on my main save.
Okay, I've been AFK for a long time. Got some partying dinguses to celebrate the fact. Get a cheeky loan for $2K, which means I now have over $66,000. And I can go, boom, and buy a big flaming chair. Yeah, there may be a sandstorm, that's fine. At least I have a big chair. I have a big chair. World's largest rocker Guinness. I can't even go under it. No. That's all the decorations purchased. This is the crown upon this playthrough. Well, I think the gas station looks pretty beautiful. I think the vibe inside is pretty good, although it could use a paint job at this point. The Nook is somewhere you would want to hang out for sure. I don't know what to say except beware Poseidon's kiss.